I want to talk to you about one word today and really get into what it actually is doing for our success and how it sets a roadblock for us and all the reasons why I hate the word can't. Now, I'm also not a big fan of the word trying. I've been through that, I'm trying to lose weight, I'm trying to quit smoking and getting rid of that aspect because we want to quit that. We want to say I am doing or whatever we need to make it a definite thing, not something that we're attempting to do, but something that we will do and that we are going to accomplish. Kind of the same thing with can't. However, the reason I wanted to talk about it is I find a lot of people running into the belief that they can't do something. And the difference between the two, the reason I hate the word can't, is I'm independent, I'm stubborn, and I'm crazy. And I never like for anyone to tell me that I can't do something. And if someone would tell me that I can't do it, it just makes me want to try 10 times harder to do it. And I think most people go through that. What I found though is I will limit myself. And I will already come up in my head that I can't do something. Now, I've made a lot of steps and a lot of progress in stopping that. But other people run into it all the time. And that's why I wanted to talk about it. That's why I wanted to share it. Is, are you running into that same thing? That you already have the assumption that you can't do something. Now, even if you get over that hurdle, that you can't run 2 miles. And we've talked about things like this before. Getting over that first roadblock, that you can't do that. A lot of times people will make the attempt, and because they can't do it at that moment in time, it makes them think that they can't do it at all. And those are two totally different things that people don't consider. Just because you can't do it today doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just means that you can't do it today. Which goes into our whole goal setting and why it's important to structure things and celebrate small accomplishments and things like that. Just because you can't do it today doesn't mean you quit. And what happens is people already build up in their head that, I don't think that I can do this, but they're willing to take that leap of faith and take that first step. My suggestion today is if you're willing to take the first step, then keep taking steps day in and day out. So we keep talking about action, we keep talking about being motivated, being consistent, and getting involved in things. So if you've made a goal to go for a walk every day, then that's a great first step. Keep that up. But if there's a day where you can't do that, or you've made a commitment to do it 5 times a week and you're only finding that you're able to do it 3, don't say you can't do it 5 and then quit. Start trying to make changes in order to get to where you can do it 5. Or whatever you need to do in order to start growing toward that goal. If you can't bench press 200 pounds or 300 pounds or whatever your goal is, just because you go and try it for 2 weeks and you don't reach the goal in that 2 weeks, don't say you can't do it and give up. Keep being persistent, keep being stubborn, keep plugging at it until you get to the goal. So, my thing is, I think that some people are making progress, they're actually starting to attempt programs, they're starting to get involved, but because they're not seeing the instant success they want, or they're not naturally good at things. People aren't naturally good at things. Like, you can't just go and be an all-star at anything that you attempt. It takes time and it takes effort. So, don't put in 2 weeks into a program and then think that you can't do it. When I done P90X and went through that, it took me a long time before I could do some of the exercises and some of the movements. It took me a long time to get to the strength levels that I'm at. Deadlifting over 400 pounds is a big goal, and starting to work toward things like that. It's not something you just walk in and do. And I remember when I first started lifting weights, just starting with a bar and on a bench press. You have to start somewhere. And if I had tried it for 2 weeks and couldn't do, 200-pound bench press, I could have been like, well, I can't do this, and quit. but you got to keep working toward it. And it's not just like that with exercise and fitness. It's also something that applies to everything else in life, which you'll find with a lot of things that we talk about in fitness. So, please don't let the word can't be something that you keep ingrained in yourself, and something that keeps being a roadblock for you. Get over that first hurdle, and then keep getting over it day and day and day until you make it a habit, and then you'll realize that something that you believed you couldn't do, you can actually do it.